When did you think it was taking shape, the sound of the band, in, I suppose, the 1980s?
Chase the Dragon, very first album I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you think there was something a little bit special going on here?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I'd listened to the first two albums, Kingdom of Madness and Magnum 2, and of course had to learn the majority of those songs anyway, because obviously that's what the guys were touring with, so I was familiar with those. And I just like the idea of how orchestral the keyboards could be with a predominantly hard rocking band, you know, which made it sort of so different to most of the things I'd listened to in the day. You know, I mean, like you could say people like the Scorpions, there's keyboards in there but they're not predominant. Even Black Sabbath, there's keyboards in there but they're not predominant. You know, all of a sudden there was a band here that had got space for lots of keyboards, which pleased me no end. You know.
That is, I mean, you just put your finger on that, is one of the characteristic sounds. And so that was coming together really for that album, Chase the Dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say it was 1979 when the guys were on the Def Leppard tour. The original keyboard player had already left then, that Richard Bailey. And they got a keyboard player at the time called Grenville Harding.
That's a name and a half, that is, isn't it?
It is, yeah. A very good player. But he wasn't what Tony was looking for. I mean, you couldn't knock Grenville's playing. I mean, he's a really nice player. But it didn't fit as such. And so I was covertly asked to go to the Derby Assembly Rooms, which was towards the end of the Def Leppard tour that Magnum were opening for Def Leppard on. And I knew Tony and Bob anyway because we were both in different bands during the railway days, you know, all through the 70s. So it wasn't like we were strangers, so the personality thing wasn't an issue, which is a very important thing with Magnum. If you don't fit personality-wise, it doesn't matter if you're Buddy Rich or Stanley Clarke, you know, it's not going to work, you know, because you're living on top of each other, literally, for months on end.
Not that
I
literally.
haven't got a personality yet.
No. Now, that's what you use for contraception, Al, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your personality.
No, just tell them I'm a bass player.
So it just came together really, really well. I mean, I had a joke of an audition just so Wally and Kex could see what I was all about. But we, as I say, we all really knew each other, although I was playing in a more of a jazz rock band at the time. So they set up the equipment. I learnt one song, and that's all they wanted me to do. As long as I could play one song, that was it. And so it just came together so naturally, and we were like friends straight away, which the personality is as important, if not more important, than the musicianship. So
Oh, that's something it's been a thread through the whole.
you can't
history
keep
of
a
the
band together this long without that working. You
Yeah.
know, we'd all be waking up with knives in our backs and things. You know.
Okay then, Mark, how did you feel then, mid-90s, when things started to go a bit astray, didn't they? And you decided to wind up the band at that time. You must have been
We
pretty
went through
gutted
some
then,
hardships.
really.
Management
Yeah.
died on us basically, and you know, the next record didn't do as well as the one previous, and things started to get a bit stale. Wally had lost heart. I mean, for such a great asset to the band he was at the time, he was the most unlikely rock and roll person on the planet. You know, you just wouldn't know he was in a rock band except while he was on stage. Bless him. You know, so not knocking his ability. And I think it had got a bit stale. You know, there comes a time when you've been together that long, and that was a long time. Everybody needed a bit of space. So we all went off into different things, and Al told you how he came to join
Nice.
Hard Rain. Hard Rain did its bit, did its thing, and then it was discussed that Magnum should go back together again. Tony gave me a call. We also gave Mickey Barker a call.
Yeah.
You know,
He
but
was busy
Mickey-
doing other stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, busy doing other stuff. Wally'd already emigrated. Now an
Left the
expat in
business,
Spain.
really, yeah.
Yeah, and so there was absolutely no way he was interested in doing it, but because Al was already in place with Hard Rain and a perfect person to replace Wally.
Well done.
Fanfare.
Well done.
Don't get to call me Wally though. Tenor.
No, I won't, yeah, tenor.
And it all seemed to click into place.
Clicked
really.
in, clicked in fine, and Harry's already told you how he came. I mean, like it just fitted in perfectly.
What were you doing then, Mark, in the interim during that?
I set up a business actually, nothing to do with music.
Ah,
I actually stopped playing for about 4 years,
yes.
which was the worst mistake I've ever made because it took a while to get back and.
But back, you've come back, and it's great.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it? You've gone
absolutely,
from
yeah.
strength to strength. Yeah.
Here we are.
You must have missed it though in that period. Did you hanker for the playing
I
live?
didn't miss it at the time because when we split up, we were ready for a break. I mean, we've never toured so extensively since. I mean, when we were in the late days of Polydor and then EMI, we'd be working. We'd be out for 3 months at a time, and it would be twice a year. You know, now we go out 3 times every 2 years. You know, so we're not together enough
Well,
these days.
Just the
to
nature
get
of
on
the
each
business
other's
these days.
It's
So
changed, hasn't it?
you know, we'd do 90-date tours twice a year, and then you'd have to record an album in between. So everybody needed a bit of a break and space, you know. And it was a healthy thing. And come back with new spirit, come back with a little bit of youth in the band,
And one thing I was mentioning to Al,
and you,
before
you're a
the
bit younger, aren't
interview,
you?
Yeah.
you're
Little.
attracting younger people, aren't you? Younger fans. You're
Yeah.
noticing that.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, I've noticed that happen. I mean, what, 32, 33 years with the band. I've watched that happen 3 times. There's a 15-year-old gets to say 20, 25, or they'll go off musically, and then there's another 15-year-old. So it's continued to happen, that has, and
I think
very
it's
encouraging.
families that their dads are bringing their sons and daughters, and they've almost grown up, and they're bringing their very little ones now.
Keep bringing your daughters.
I mean, many times we've looked down, they've just been little chins of the.
Yeah, I mean,
that's great.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
one thing I'm really proud of in that respect, in the whole time I've been with Magnum, I've never heard Bob swear on stage.
No.
So we're so
Family friendly.
family friendly.
we
I
keep
mean,
the
it's not
swearing
like
for
we've got,
backstage.
you
Yeah.
know, it's not like we're playing children's music by any means. There's a lot of depth in what we're doing, but there is nothing negative. Never will be. There's nothing over political apart from saying we don't agree with war and things like that. And there's nothing offensive, whether sexually or politically or whatever. So to bring a kid or a youngster to see Magnum is a healthy thing to do. Maybe earplugs might be
That's
a
a
good thing
fantastic
for their first
advertisement for the
hearing
band
out.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm so
Again,
proud
for
of the
all the
fact
You could
that.
be selling washing powder actually.
Yeah. No, he's a brilliant salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, not
yeah.
once in all of the gigs we've done, thousands of gigs, have I heard Bob swear.
You could work in a shoe shop.
Oh, I think it's something to be proud of, though, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, you get the effing and blinding all the time in
Oh, no,
a
no.
lot of rock music,
No.
and you think, oh,
Doesn't do
is
it
that
for me.
necessary? You know,
Fantastic.
so that's why I think we
Yeah.
do have a younger audience.